Hello students, it's me Gabriel. Today we're going to be doing lesson 1A. This is on page 5 of your textbook, so turn to page 5 and we'll get started. How do humans affect the health of the oceans? A lot of scientists don't think that humans affect the oceans, but some do. So we'll be listening to what they think is a problem in our oceans. So let's listen to their arguments. Step 1. Look at the picture. What is the plastic bag doing? With a partner, talk about things that float in water. What makes them float? You know, plastic bags can't learn English. Did you know that? You're special. You can learn English. Plastic bag cannot learn English. Of course it can't learn English, but it can float. Can you float? Talk about what makes things float with your partner. Oh, but what if you don't have a partner? That's okay. You can skip the lesson, okay? We can move on straight to step 2. So, hooray, we get to move on to the next thing. So sooner is better. So step 2. Lamia is an Emirati teenager who really cares about the oceans. She has her own podcast. She discusses ocean topics with experts in different fields. Her guest today is Dr. Salama, a marine biologist. Listen to her podcast, How Are Humans Affecting the Oceans? Answer questions 1 and 2 by taking notes using the graphic organizer. So now we're going to listen to a little audio clip and then we'll come right back and listen closely. We're going to be using what the audio clip says to answer these questions. So listen closely.
Welcome to episode 6 of my podcast, Voices from the Ocean. Our guest today is the famous Emirati marine biologist, Dr. Salama. She's here today to tell us about the effect humans are having on sea life. Hello, Dr. Salama. Thank you for sitting with me today.
Hello, Lamia. Thank you for having me.
So, let's talk about pollution. It's a very serious topic.
But an important topic as well. Human activity has a serious impact on marine life.
I know that you care about this topic. Could you tell our listeners about our impact on marine life?
Humans affect the oceans because we are polluting them. We pollute the oceans with plastic garbage and chemicals from farms.
Plastic? Like in a grocery bag?
Grocery bags, smartphones, even your soccer ball. Almost everything you own has plastic in it. A lot of that plastic gets thrown into our oceans. This is very bad for the animals in the ocean.
How so?
Well, plastic does not decompose quickly.
What does decompose mean?
Decomposing is when things fall apart. Think about how an apple turns brown and soft after a few weeks.
And plastic doesn't decompose quickly?
That's right. It can float in the ocean for years. The ocean currents carry plastic garbage very far from land. Plastic is full of toxins. Some fish will eat the plastic and get sick from the toxins. Seabirds and turtles will also get stuck in the plastic.
Oh no! How can we help these animals?
We must stop using so much plastic. For example, we must put our food in reusable bags instead of plastic bags when shopping. We have to recycle our plastic bottles and not just toss them in the garbage. We must also bring our garbage with us when we leave the beach.
And what about chemicals from farms?
Well, we use chemicals on our fruits and vegetables. Some chemicals help grow our crops. Some insects eat our plants. So we use toxins to kill insects that eat the plants. When it rains, water washes these harmful chemicals into the rivers and lakes. These chemicals are then carried to the oceans, and the ocean currents carry the chemicals far from land.
So you're saying that our rivers bring toxins from our farms to our oceans?
Yes, and this is bad for ocean animals. You see, small sea animals like shrimp and fish will eat these toxins. Bigger fish will then eat those fish, and they also get sick. This can be bad for humans too, because we eat fish with toxins in their meat.
Oh no! So we have to stop eating fish?
Not really. Fish is very good for you. But we need to know that bigger fish like tuna and salmon may have toxins. We have to eat less of those kinds of fish for now. Also, we must buy more organic fruits and vegetables.
What are organic vegetables?
Those are vegetables that are grown without using chemicals. Fewer chemicals means fewer toxins.
Those are some helpful tips. A healthy ocean is good for all of us. Thank you for your time, Dr. Salama. This has been Voices from the Ocean. Thanks for listening.
Okay, you're back. So, what did the podcast say to answering these 4 questions? How do humans affect ocean animals? What did the podcast say? What are 2 causes of ocean pollution? What did the podcast say? What effects does this have on ocean animals? What did the podcast say? What can we do to help? What did the teacher say? No. What did the podcast say? So, what did the podcast say on this issue? Answer these questions. And after you've done that, we can move on to the next step. Step 3. Listen to the podcast again. Why is the ocean pollution bad? What can we do to help? Answer questions 3 and 4. After the recording, compare your answers with your partner. So if you need to re-listen to it, all you need to do is re-watch this video from this point. Restart, and you will listen to it again, okay? So now let's move on to page 6. While listening to someone give a lot of information, it is important to take notes. That way you don't forget what you heard. For example, you hear sharks need a lot of food to live. They eat fish, seals, and turtles, but they also eat plastic and other garbage. These have toxins that can be harmful. But the sharks think that plastic's very tasty. Very tasty. It tastes very good. So, do you eat plastic? I don't eat plastic, but sharks do. In your notes, you could write, need food, eat fish, seals, turtles, eat plastic and garbage. Notice that there are no articles, the, a, or other functional language. Only write down key words like nouns and verbs. Okay, step 2. Listen to the next episode of the podcast. The sentences below describe how toxins get from farms to people. Put the sentences in the correct order by writing the numbers 1 to 6. So let's listen to the track, see what the answers that they give are for what order they think pollution happens. After they've done this, you're going to press pause, answer these questions, and then we'll fact check.
The 21st century has brought us many new things, but also new challenges. Have you heard about all the pollution in the oceans? Who hasn't? Anyway, when I finish school, I want to go to college to study environmental science. Once I finish my studies, I want to help clean up our oceans. There are so many ideas now for new technology to do this. There is a young person like me who cares about our oceans and has invented a system with nets to passively clean up the plastic in the Pacific Ocean. Scientists aren't sure, but I feel that every bit helps. It may not completely fix the problem of pollution, but I believe it would be a huge improvement. In fact, I recently contacted the company to see if I can volunteer over the summer.
Do you love the ocean? I do. That's why I'm worried about how polluted it is. I go surfing often and I see more and more trash in the water. Maybe it's not a big problem in Australia now, but what about in the future? I think that if we don't do something, it's going to get much worse. In fact, the other day I was surfing and I saw a sea turtle that was caught in a plastic bag and could not swim properly. I managed to catch the turtle and, with the help of a friend, remove the bag. We saved the turtle, but I feel that more needs to be done. In fact, someone here in Australia invented a type of water vacuum to clean our harbours of trash. I think that the government should install this machine all over the country to help reduce pollution.
I recently moved to this city, and I really like running along the harbour after work. The other day I saw a big machine with a wheel there, and asked a coworker what it was. He told me that it's a water wheel that collects trash that makes its way to the sea from rivers. I know there are plans to put nets in the open ocean, but I think that machines like this water wheel are more useful. Why wait for trash to float out to sea when we can collect it here first? I feel that this is the best way to handle the problem of pollution in our oceans. In my opinion, if every port city has one, we won't need nets in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, you're back. So now we're going to do our magic trick to fact check and see if you got your answers according to the podcast. So what we're trying to do is be the most accurate to what the podcast said. So with a snap of our fingers, guess what's going to happen? And when you look at that, all the answers are magically in place. So did you get the answers right? Were your answers in the same order as this? If so, amazing. If you got it wrong though, just like I always say, just learn what you got wrong, and if you learn it now, it won't be a problem later. So just remember which ones you got wrong. And now we can move on to step 5. So you're going to answer all of these in class on your own. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you out a lot. I can't wait to see what you guys are learning with your English. It's great practice. I'll see you all very soon.